You think that it happened overnight? It wasn't. It all started off a little prior to 18th of June, but not in Goa. It all started off outside the Goan borders. Mumbai, Pune, Belgaum, Karwar, all these areas. The consolidation of people started taking place after 14 and a half years, which we got our liberation. It started off on 18th of June 1946. And as our the MC, the compare, has told you all, and our Mrs. Neha has also told you also, that this gentleman called as Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, whom I pay my respects here, was a nationalist leader. He had nothing to do with Goa, but he had something to do with the Goan. Jenna to Germany, at a university in Shiktalo. He was a student in a university in Germany. He happened to have as a best friend a Goan whose name was Dr. Julian Menezes. A young man from Asolna. And they kept very good rapport with each other. And because of this nationalistic movement, India got our independence in 1947. But because of this nationalistic actions that were taking place, Ram Manohar Lohia was jailed, incarcerated at Lahore. And he underwent a lot of problems there, health related, as well as, tortures possibly from psychological strains. And he was released and his health started deteriorating. And that is the time when he was keeping in touch with Dr. Julian Menezes, जो गोंयकार आशिल्लो तो, तर दोतोरान ताका बरयलें की बाबा तूं गोंयान यो, आमी हांगा मुदासाक वताले, पयलीं तुमकां याद आसतली, मे जाले, सुटयो पडल्यो म्हणटकच आमकां फॅमिली घेवन दर्याच्या देगेर वताली मुदास करपाक, to relax. So he invited Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia to come into Goa. And as we have been told, once people knew, the nationalist people knew that he came over here, they rushed to him. Now, here was a case where a lesson is to be learned by the people of today. The words of Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia. When he was told, he says, please ask Mahatma Gandhi and your leaders, in Delhi, now that the freedom is coming close, please ask your people to help us to get freedom. And what he said, and I'm just stating this, not quoting the exact words, but he told them, he says, see, please do not expect somebody from outside to come and help you. You have to fight your own battle. You have to take up the cudgels, because here is a big population of 5 lakhs. At that time it was 5 lakhs. You have to consolidate yourself. And he says, if you cannot do it, then I will defy it over here. Now he came here in the second week of June. So when these people told him, he says, please help us. So he was fired up. He said, now is the time to light the spark with these people. He went from there to Mormugaon. At Mormugaon, he held meetings. From Mormugaon, he came to Panjim. He held meetings at a house of Mr. Jaggilal Shah. And it is said that the effect of this was so much on the Portuguese that the governor drove with his car, and took 2 rounds of the place to see the crowd that was outside Shah's house. He wanted to know what that was the fear that was there in the minds of the Portuguese. It was decided at a meeting at Gomant Vidyaniketan that let us take action. पण तुमकां सगळ्यांक खबर आसा आमी गोंयकार कशे ती मेळ आसता तसो एक दोन फुडें स्टेप मारता एक फाटल्यान मारतात. So there were some people among there who did not want to take any action against the Portuguese. Then they said, we will talk over it, we will have meetings and then we will decide. He said, no, now is the time. I have decided 18th of June 1946 in Margao. If nobody is coming, I am going. And his friend, Dr. Julia Menezes, was always there backing him. So from Mormugao, they came by train to the railway station at Margao. And at Margao, they had like आमी करतात ते खंय एअरपोर्टार बी वताले taxi सांगतात. So taxi fellow came and was standing there. He was threatened by the police. He says, leave, otherwise you'll be arrested. So he went. So when Dr. Julia and Ram Manohar Lohia landed at the railway station, there was nobody over there. So they had two choices, either to walk or to take a tango, or what they called as a Victoria. Tango, a Victoria. Today you can see this Victoria in one of the museum here called as Goa Chakra in Benoli. It is not that very tango, but that. So he hired that and he landed at the spot that was there. Now, remember one thing, I will stop here talking about Dr. Lohia and Dr. Menezes. I will talk about the people. At that time, the Portuguese had put a ban on all the civic duties that a person would do. Tuka कितें बरोवपाचें आसा, you have to take it to the police station. You want to write something, you want to send a letter to somebody, take it to the police. You are getting married, you have to take your wedding card there, and they would censor whatever was there. Today, we have to understand as we see today, here, that freedom that we have got, because people like these freedom fighters, known and unknown, people from all the states of India who came over here and gave their lives for us, they fought for something that we are enjoying today. We did not have mobiles that time. It was the word of mouth. You had to put a pamphlet, and to put a pamphlet, like my icon over here, Dadbab, will tell you to take that banner and to stick it on the wall. You had to have guts. Please correct me. You had to have guts, because if you are caught, I've heard this word now from them, Ashant Casimir Montero. Today for us, it is just a name. But at that time, it was a dread. If you ask certain freedom fighters, the tortures that he has made over there, for them, there are certain freedom fighters, and he did not, make a difference between man and woman. Today we get up to give a seat for a lady. That's what they call chivalry. At that time, he did not. And some of the women freedom fighters will show you the marks on their back where they got the lashings. His tortures were tortures incomparable. So, doing that, putting the posters, word of mouth, telling you didn't know who was the friend of the Portuguese, they managed to gather a crowd. Unfortunately, आज आमचेकडे फक्त दोनच फोटो आसात जे एका फोटोन फ्यूज केल्ले आसा. The Central Library today has put up a wonderful exhibition. Please see the exhibition, over here behind. There are photographs, there are writings. It will tell you what happened during that time. Those two photographs will tell you the number of people that came over there. Today we are seeing a lot of foreigners over here in Goa. But if you go to their country, if they see a freedom fighters memorial over there or a World War II memorial, they will stop there, they will say a small prayer and go ahead. दुर्दैव आमच्या गोंयचे म्हणजे आमकां खंय ती मार्टियर्स मेमोरियल आसा ती सुद्दां आमकां खबर ना. It is our duty. towards all the sacrifices that these gentlemen have made. Their families have undergone torture. And these are the people who garnered the people over there. Thousands of people came. At a time when all public meetings, everything, groups were banned. It has got a different name here in the Indian constitution. It's called Section 144. More than 5 people are not allowed to gather. There you are not supposed to gather at all. At that time, there were more than about 5,000 people over there in Margao. In a small open space, today we call it as Loya Maidan. They gathered there, and like we are told, when that Victoria came, Captain Miranda, who was in charge of the Margao jurisdiction, had a revolver. So he pushed it aside, told him, he said, see, you do your job, I will do mine. And he went over there, and as he was about to give the speech, he was arrested. He gave the speech to the founder of the Azad Gumantak Dal, Mr. Vishwanath Lavande, who was standing next to him. He started reading. He was arrested. And about 12 people were arrested and taken to the police station that day. When they were taken to the police station, the very people who were subdued, जे कोण मोह आशिल्ले गोंयकार, तांकां खंयसून तरी एक स्फूर्ती आयली भितरसून. And they took a massive procession in Margao demanding that Ram Manohar Lohia and the other people should be released. And you see that a very shameful act on the part of that Captain Miranda showed his helplessness. He requested Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, he says, please go and tell them to disperse and go home. But the people did not listen. So midnight, they shifted them from Margao to Panjim. And तुमका जर दिसत तांका ते जुवारी ब्रिजावरसून आयलो म्हणते त्यांना जुवारी ब्रिज नाशिल्लो. So they had to either come via Bori or they had to cross over here at from the ferry over here. And they reached over here. People gathered in Panjim. When people gathered here, the people were very scared. The police, the Portuguese administration was very scared. And they realized another thing also. Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia was a nationalist leader. Touching him, arresting him, putting him in jail, it would have repercussions of the Indian government taking action which they didn't want. So what they did? The next day on 19th, he was taken under police guard to Calais and he was thrown out at the border and told, Porto yobato na. Put Dr. Lohia to Dr. Lohia. On 26th or 28th of September 1946, he came back. Immediately he was arrested. He was arrested and he was taken to the Agua jail. Today, Agua jail is being made into a museum. And yes, there are a lot of suggestions, objections, criticism, where this particular whole complex is being created. Let us not run away from the facts. But let us not run away from the fact also that if you want to do something for a long term, then whatever is done, the suggestions have to come from the people. Because this suggestion is not about correcting any administration or any group or any department. It is a suggestion where you are honoring the brave people who have given their lives for us. Their memories are stuck in the walls of that cell number 13. I don't know how many of you have gone and seen the cell number 13. Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia's soul seems to be floating around in that cell number 1 where a statue has been put up over there. It is time that we go and we see that sitting in the 4 walls of our offices or homes or studying in books is not going to help us. Because if this was done by these freedom fighters, And those people who came and gave their lives for us over here from all over India, like for example, Shahid Karnail Singh, 23-year-old boy, came from Punjab, married in May, didn't tell his family, came here and stood up when Sahodara Devi got a bullet in her head. Says, why are you shooting at a lady? Shoot me. He was shot. Today, there is a need for us to understand that. Now, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia has, contributed to what we are today. Dr. Sardesai, Dr. Manohar Rai Sardesai, you all have heard the poem that he has written, which was played to you all. But I would like to take the liberty of reading just one or two stanzas, because there is a reason for that. 18 June, written by Dr. late Manohar Rai Sardesai. उदक लेगीत जाले रगत, उदक लेगीत जाले रगत, आणि रगत जाले होन. भावा, I will add भोयणी also. भावा, तुका याद असा 18 जून? बणकणीचे दुखेस चिरे नव्या आशेन धडधडले, फिरग्यांचे मस्ते बनेर थरथरत समजले, वावझडीन वतले म्हणून पिंजून पिंजून. भावा, तुका याद असा 18 जून? Now, I'm not going to read further. It's a long poem. Here, he appeals to all of us. Bhava tuka yad asa 18 June. The only thing about 18 June that we know at a commercial angle is the 18 June road in Panjim, where nothing happened. It was just named because something happened in Margao. Now coming to what happened after the 18th June. Mahatma Gandhi was told that Lohia has lit the spark in Goa. From that day onwards, and I'm telling you a first-hand experience of what was told to me by one of the Azad Gomantak Dal member, Prabhakar Sinari. He was a student, and the very next day of this 18th June, there was a procession that was taken out in Panjim by his guru. Guruji was there. And when they reached near Cafe Central, that area, the Portuguese police came, threw him down and started kicking him till blood started flowing. Now his question was, as a child, I was not aware what we were doing. We were just walking, shouting slogans, and then somebody come and said, it was that thing that lit that thing. I have to fight against the Portuguese. What he has done, what he has contributed is as important as what all our peers here, the icons who are sitting in front of us, they have also done. They are also part of Azad Gomantak Dal. Goa has not got freedom by people who read or sat in their homes and thought of doing something. We have to learn from them where they came out. They walked 50, 60 miles, kilometers over hills, fighting these people, blasting the railway line, attacking the police station, putting posters, saying this. Today, we need to consolidate ourselves. That is going to be a true homage for the sacrifices made by them. Yesterday, our Chief Minister laid a wreath at Azad Maidan. I am very grateful that every year the state government respects and pays homage over there. But ladies and gentlemen, I am hurt. I am very hurt. Not hurt because there is a demand and no supply to the freedom fighters, but there is something else. How many of us sitting here know the true meaning of that Smarak or the Martyrs Memorial that has been put up over there in Azad Maidan? What is the meaning of that? Do we know? Do we know that 67 names have been put in English and in Devanagari on 2 pillars on one side? Have we paid our respect to them? Stood there for 5 seconds or 10 seconds paying our respect to them? No. We only see it in the passing. Let me explain to you what that structure is all about. It is a straight structure. You can see it there. It is a straight structure. It has got 4 points on top and there is a pyramid in the middle. That is the Martyrs Memorial in Panjim. It means we are upholding the sacrifices. Look on top, that pyramid are the ashes of the people who came from 4 directions to fight for us. We are looking at things and just taking it at their face value. No. A time has come to give back, to contribute. Today, we have accepted and we are acknowledging what the freedom fighters are. Today, these 3 gentlemen, they are representing those hundreds and thousands of known and unknown freedom fighters because of whom we are sitting in an AC cabin today. Otherwise, we would not be sitting here. No, I think there is no AC here. Okay, that's a different thing. But we are at a point where if we do not consolidate ourselves like they did, then na WhatsApp na, then na email na, word of mouth and a question of honor and trust and love for the motherland. John F. Kennedy said, do not ask what your country can do, ask what you can do for your country. Let's change the word country and we'll put Goa there. Ask not what Goa can do, ask what you can do for the country. The least that you can do for the country. And pay homage to all these people who have, who have given us this freedom, is to acknowledge those people who give their life for us. In our homes, we have got the photograph of our ancestors on the wall. Same way, their souls are there all over Goa. In the Indian Army, they say that the Indian flag does not flutter because of the wind, but because of the breath of the soldiers who gave their life away. Yeah, but a time has come today is for you to garner yourself, gather yourself as a human being, as a Goan, and play your part. Freedom does not give us the right to do what we want when we want. Freedom comes with responsibility. And I'm sure, I know that it may not be the right thing to ask, but when I ask my icons here and different other icons that I meet, जे तुम्ही आमच्या स्वातंत्र्या खातीर झगडले ते स्वातंत्र्य आणि आयच्या स्वातंत्र्य, इज दिस व्हॉट यू वॉन्टेड? खूपशे जाण फक्त मुमुर्ख्यांनी आसतात आणि ओगी रावतात. दे डोंट आन्सर. आय थिंक दॅट इज एन आन्सर फॉर अस. This is not the Goa that they wanted. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Because this Goa should have seen a much better thing. They wanted us to be part of the development. At Patra Devi, I told you about Patra Devi. Just one last thing I will tell you. At Patra Devi, I was hurt again. And thanks to the present administration. I have been after this for the last almost 12, 15, 20 years. I went to the spot where the Banda Patra Devi action took place. Till 15th August 1955, America, UK, everybody was backing Portugal. But what happened on that day at Banda Patra Devi and at many other places, which has not come on record, was recorded by Columbia Broadcasting Corporation and Associated Press of America. They had 2 of their, and you will see in those photographs, the 2 people lifting up the dead people and bringing them out. They were standing there waiting for these 2,400 people to enter inside Goa, unarmed with just flags, men, women. And as soon as they went, not even 10 meters away, the Portuguese opened gunfire, machine gun fire. It is said, now this is what I have read, but there are other figures also, that in the first round of shooting, about 11 people died. And during that shooting, the bullet went into the hand of Sahodara Devi, a widow who came from MP. Next to her was this young man, Karnal Singh. He was so angry that a woman was shot, that he stood up, opened his shirt, challenged them, he was shot. And in the next round, more people died. These two foreigners were only allowed, they ran inside, told them, just stop, don't shoot, they are unarmed. So when they saw these people with cameras and all, they stopped shooting. And they allowed only these two people to bring out those dead from there to here. Can you even imagine what must have happened that day over there? What must have happened afterwards when the people who went bravely came back as dead bodies? That must have inspired Dr. Manohar Rai Sardesai to write, Udak legit zale ragat ani ragat zale hun, bhava tuka yad asa 18 June. This thing should not come to our lips again. Tuka khabar asa 18 June. 18 June should be part of our lives. Because it was on that day that everything started here in Goa. That includes the Satyagrahas, the Prabhat ferries, and also the various actions. If you listen to the action of this Azad Gomantak Dal freedom fighters, tumcha angar kanto yetlo. Many of them didn't know whether they are going to come back. So ladies and gentlemen, I think I've taken enough of your time. But as much time as I take, or as much time as we all take to explain about 18 June and the freedom struggle of Goa, it will always be less. But I seek only one thing from all of you, Goans, everywhere, here, outside Goa, and outside India also. Let us not trivialize the freedom struggle that the people fought. Let us not trivialize the sacrifices made by the people having their families. Let us not trivialize when we are told, let us learn about it in our academics. If something is wrong, let's correct it. But let us see that the next generation, आज आमची जी दुसरी पिळगी हांगा येवपाची आसा हाज्या फुडें, तांकां freedom struggle म्हणटा तें कितें तें खबर आसचेना. What sacrifices people have gone, irrespective of religion, caste, creed, they will not know. It is our duty as parents, as seniors, to explain to them. Bring them to this type of icons. Let them tell in their own words what happened. And do you know, as they grow up, when they will say, I met a freedom fighter. They will say with pride. Today they are only seeing a black and white picture on their textbooks. So whenever you have the opportunity, please attend functions like this also. But when you get the opportunity, take your children, take your friends to the surviving members of the freedom struggle of Goa. That would be the biggest honor that we would be giving to all these brave freedom fighters. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember it 18 June. Thank you. Thank you.
Goa Revolution Day celebrate करता असताना वेगळे दालन फोटोज बुक्स ह्या एक्झिबिशनाचे मांडलेले आसात आणि आमच्या कडल्यान फ्रीडम फायटर्स जेणी हांगा गोंय मुक्ती जावपा खातीर आपले बलिदान दिले हेची जाणीव करपा खातीर याद करपा खातीर आमच्या मध्ये हजर आसात फ्रीडम फायटर बाब रोहिदास देसाय, ताका आमी दादा म्हणटात. त्याच बरोबर प्रभाकर डी नाईक आणि संजय कृष्णराव प्रभुदेसाय हे 3 जण आमच्या मध्ये हजर आसात. आमी त्यांच्या कडल्यान कितें शिकपाक जाय, आमी वाचला ते पुरो आसा काय त्यांच्या कडल्यान आनी कितें घेवपाक जाय. जशें हांगा प्रोग्राम सुरू जाता आसतना आमी ऑडियो आयकलो आनी म्हाका दिसता सगळ्याच्या जी आयकतगीर सगळ्याच्या आंगाक एक कांटो येयला आसतलो की हय आमी कितें तरी करपाक जाय. आमकां स्वातंत्र्याचे हे रिव्होल्युशनाचे धडे शिकपाक जाय आनी हे गोंय फुडें बरें कशें सुंदर समृद्ध आनी फ्री फेर अशें गोंय आमकां मेळपाक जाय. आमी तें राखून दवरपाक जाय. हे तुमी सगळे हांगा जमिल्ले आयच्या ह्या रिव्होल्युशन डेच्या निमित्तान की कितेंय ना कितें तरी रिव्होल्युशन घेतले आपल्या जिवनात. जशें आमकां संजीव सरदेसायान सांगले आसा, तेणी आमकां थोडो कितें म्हणटा ते कांटो आंगाक कांटो काडलेलो आसा की हय आमी ह्या जिवनाक कितें तरी करपाक जाय. जे रिव्होल्युशन जाल्ले सो तेजे पासून आमी तेजे राखण कशी करतले आनी प्रसार कशे करतले. जशें आमी म्हणटात की हिस्ट्री आमी कित्याक शिकपाक जाय, सो तितूंतल्यान आमी फुडले जग आसा आमचे आयुश्य आसा ते भरभराट कशें जातले हेजेर आमचे नजर आसता. सो ती एक आमकां स्फूर्ती आसता आनी ह्याच स्फूर्तींतल्यान आमी सगळे जग फुडले जीवन आसा ते सुखी समाधानी जगपाक शकता. हांव तुमचो चड वेळ घेयना. म्हाकाय जशें आसता की वाचपाचो टायम मनशा कडेन कमी जाता आनी ह्या ल्हानपणाकच जे वाचपाचे झडे सपोज जर घेतलेले आसा जाल्यार फुडल्या जिवनाक सुद्दां आपूण कितले कवर करपाक शकतले. कित्याक हांगा लायब्ररी म्हटल्यार खंयचो बूक वाचप आनी खंयचो बूक वाचप न्हू. खंयचो बूक काडला जाल्यार आमकां बरें बेगीन सगळें कंप्लीट ज्ञान मेळटलें. पूण हांगा आमच्या फुड्याक आसा बुकाच्याकय स्वताक हांगा स्वातंत्र्य सैनीक म्हण ज्यांच्यांनी स्वातंत्र्या खातीर रिव्होल्युशन केल्ले सो त्यांच्या कडल्यान आमी कितें तरी आयज जाणून घेवपाक जाय. आनी आमच्या मदीं हांगाय अशे नागरीक जावन आसा दुसऱ्या स्टेटीचेय सुद्दां हांगा 2 जाण आमचे रिसर्च फेलोज येयल्ले आसात, हांगा हजर आसात. जे कितें रिव्होल्युशन जाल्ले ते खरेंच कशें जाल्ले हे तेंकांय शिकोवन दिसता आनी तेजे बद्दल तांकां मान सन्मान होय आसा. त्या खातीर ते हांगा गोंयचे रिव्होल्युशन शिकपाक येल्ले आसात. आमी तांकां खरीच बरी जी जाणकाय आसा जे इन्फॉर्मेशन आसा करेक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन आमी तेंचे पर्यंत पावोवपाचो प्रयत्न करपाक जाय. हांव चड वेळ घेना. आयोजकाचे अभिनंदन करता आनी म्हाकाय हांगा संदी दिली. जे आमचे जे थोर फ्रीडम फायटर रोहिदास बाब देसाय, प्रभाकर नाईक आणि संजय प्रभुदेसाय हेंकाय आमचे कडल्यान इंटरॅक्शन जाले. सो त्यांच्याय कडल्यान आमी कितें शिकपाक जाय. त्यांचो जो टायम आयज हो त्यांचो दीस आमी तांकां रिस्पेक्ट दितात आनी रिस्पेक्ट दिता आसतना सुद्दां त्यांचे कडल्यान आमी कितें तरी आमी जाणून घेवपाचे आसा. सो त्या खातीर हांव म्हाजे शब्द आसा ते हांगाच थांबयता आनी परत एकदा तांकां तेंचे आयुश्य अशेंच सुखी समाधानी आनी भरभराटीचे जावं आनी आमच्या कडल्यान तेंची सेवाय जावं अशी अपेक्षा दवरता आनी हे 2 शब्द सोंपयता. देव बरें.
राम मनोहर लोहिया हो आमची गांवां आयिल्लो कुंपली आसोलना. जुलिया मेनेजिसाच्या घरा येयल्लो फकत रेस्ट घेवन ताणें सगळें सांगलां. आनी तुमकां जाय जाल्यार तेजी घर हो हांव दाखयता. राम मुनेर लय पळय बसलो त्या लागून तेजे वलतेर थिंग आसा. संजय बाब घेवन तांकां एक दीस वचपाचें. जुलियांव मेनेझीसाच्या घरान अजुनूय तेजी ती खुर्ची दवरला कडेन आहा हलपाची. वाड्या म्हण थिंगा वाड्या म्हणजे बाजार जालो ना रायट थिंगा. आमचो शेजारी कसो ते न्हू जुलियांव मेनेझीस. पूण आमी तेन्ना भुरगे जेन्ना तो गोंया आयला तो फकत रेस घेवन येयल्लो. आमचे संजीव बाबान आख्खें तुमकां सांगलां. तेणे हरी म्हणल्यार गोंया येवन एक किट्ट पेटयली. जशें एक गुडी आहा तणाचे त्या गुडयाक किट्ट पेटयतरी ते उज लागून काबार जाता. ती तेणे आमकां मार्गदर्शन दिलें गोंयकारांक. आनी तुवें म्हणले त्या भशेन 2 पावल फुडें वयताय आनी 1 पावल गोंय फाटीं येता गोंयकार फाटीं येताय. तशें म्हळें 1 पावल फुडें वयता आनी 2 पावल फाटीं येयी तेन्ना ना जाल्यार 450 वर्सां गोंय कशें उरलें. इतली पयस सावन पुर्तुगालाक सावन तो राज्य चलयता आनी 450 वर्सां आमचे सगळेच मेल्ले. तूं सांगता भशेन तुवें म्हणलें कितें 2 फुडें 1 फाटीं ना 1 फुडें 2 फाटीं येवंक लागले. आनी आमकां कित्याक पडलां सारकें. हे जातरी तो येवन येतरी सत्याग्रह जाली. तुवें सांगता भशेन 15 देवीच्यान हजारांक लोक येयलो. 15 ऑगस्ट म्हणजे सगळे महाराष्ट्राचे बेळगांवचे जावं गोंयचे आनी थिंग येतरी ते घोशणी दिली आनी पुर्तुगेजाचेर कितें कितें उलोवंक लागले. आनी हे आमी आमचे ग्रुपाचे ते आमचे मातशे वट पूण आमी तेजे फाटल्यान त्यांचे मार्गदर्शना भशेन हांव म्हाजाळे 2 फाटी चलोन लागून गेला तिरोवणच्यान गांवगिरीच्यान तिरोवणच्यान त्या वाटेन. कित्याक तेन्ना आमची एक उमेद अशी आसली रगत शिजत भिरांत दिसना आसली. पूण आतां भिरांत दिसता. कितें कळ्ळें तेन्ना 16, 17, 18 कितें जशें आड नासलें मांस मेळ्ळें जाल्यार खावपा बरें करेक्ट तशें जालां आतां. तेन्ना आड आसलें. एक जर पुलीस तुका येयलो हिंगा आतां आमी इतलीं जाणां आहाय आनी तेमी म्हणलें चल उठाय सगळे वसाय जाप काडना लोक सांगता भशेन आयकाय. पूण आज इतली पुलीस आसल्यार 5 जाणां मनीस आसल्यार तांकां पुलिसांक विचार करचो पडटा. अरे बाबा ह्यान कितें कित्याक ही आतां लोकशाही हें जालां फ्रिडम मेळ्ळा आमकां. पूण तेन्ना तशें नासलें. ताणें सांगले त्या भशेन उलोवपाक तुका द्रेतच नासलो. कितें उलयलें तुका फोंटान मारीत फोंटांनी अशें. पूण तांकां आमी कॅर केलो ना आझाद गोमंतक दळान कॅर केलो ना. आनी तोच आमचो लिडर लोवंडे जावं आमचे भावान सिनारी अशें म्हणजे. पूण दुस्मान न्हू ते भिवन येनासले. आमचे घरा कडेन येनासले येयले जाल्यार आमकां दवरत म्हणून कळ्ळें तुका. हें आतां सांगलें जाल्यार एकदां आतां बसलो तेंकां काणी दिसतल्यो. आमी कितें 10 पुलिसां आमी दोग जाण धांवणाक घालता म्हणटले. पूण तेन्ना ना. तेन्ना घर्स नासले. 1 पावल फुडें 2 पावल फाटीं. तुवें म्हणलें 2 पावल. ते आमचें गोंय जें आसा ते 1512 आदिशा कडेन घेतले कळ्ळें पुर्तुगेजान. आनी 450 वर्सां उरले आमी. म्हणजे कशें म्हाका दिसता 3 पावल फाटीं येयले आमी तशें करून. कोण हें जायना आसलो. जो हो आमचो महापुरुश हिंगा गोंया येवन तेणे आमची मनशां आमी तेन्ना भुरगे 8-9 वर्सांचे तेणे मार्गदर्शन कोण दिलें म्हणून तें इतली बेगीन गोंय तांकां हें मेळोन तेका मडगांव वयलो तिंगा ती स्पीच दिली 5000 लोक जालो. आनी तो भाशण दी उठलो तो पुलिसेन तेका लायले तेणें पिस्तॉल बंद कर तूं. आनी लोकांक घोशणा जिंदाबाद रोय राम मनोहर रोहिया हें जय हिंद हें कोण हे चळवळ हे सारकें नासलें. जर गोंयकारांची जर तांक नासली आमकां मेळनासलें कळ्ळें. त्या खातीर तुमी आज हिंगा आयलाय हें आयकलां. केन्नाय सांगता पयशे दिन जेन्नाय जॉब घेयनाकाय आनी जो पयशे जॉब येता तो मागीर करप जाता. ही म्हजी विनंती. तुमी बरी शिकलाय आनी कोण भुरगीं आसल्यार शिकची. हिंगा ऑफिसर आहाय तेमी मनाक घेवचें आनी बरी विचारान लोकां आयिल्ल्या वेलकम कोन्न बरी काम कोन्न दिवप. पयशांची आस केन्नाय धरनाकाय. आनी असलो मनीस केन्नाय फुडें समना. एक दीस नाल्यार एक दीस तेजे मागीर वाटोळ जाता. आज म्हाका आमचो डायरेक्टर नेहमी म्हाका थिंग उलोवंक दिलो म्हणून
क्रांती दिना खातीर जमल्यात तेन्ना तुमच्या देश आंदोलन केल्या शिवाय काय मेळना. त्या खातीर हेच्या फुडें बी आंदोलन चालू दवरचें, प्रत्येक गोष्टीचेर अन्याया विरुद्ध वागचें आनी आपली जी कितें मागणी आहात त्यो सरकारा कडेन करून घेवच्यो.
आमचे हिस्टोरियन श्री संजीव सरदेसाय जे आमचे कितें जालां म्हणजे ते आमकां सदांच हांगा येतात. आमचे सदांचेच पावणे आसात ते जे आमच्या सगळो इतिहासाचो उपयोग करून घेतात. आमकां जी माहिती ना ती ते आमकां दितात आणि सगळ्याचो उपयोग करतात, लोकांक हांगा हाडटात. तांचेय आमी आभारी आसात.
ही पुस्तकां विकत मेळटा आमकां.
इतिहास जालो तो इतिहास
तेंचे हे काडून घेयात.